podcast. On this week's episode, yet again, the pigeon gets to drive the bus. Only this time, I only have one person holding me back, so we'll see if it gets completely derailed. I am joined today by the purest of Christophers, who the nicest man in person and the biggest bully you'll ever meet online. How you doing, Chris?
I'm good, thanks, Aubrey. What an intro. I'm not going to do a good job of holding you back and holding the reins, but so we'll just let this thing go off the track and be fine with it.
Yes. So I would believe that if you have found this podcast, you might have some idea who Chris is. But just in case, would you like to give them a brief reminder of why I referred to you as the nicest bully online?
Yeah, well, I'm a recovering StarCraft player who found his way into the world of miniature tabletop games, and I'm been stuck with Star Wars Shatterpoint since about when Grievous came out. And if you're in the local area, I am more than happy to beat you up on the tabletop. No, I'm kidding. More than happy to play some games. I guess we have this reputation, not a reputation, a joke, that Chris is a bully. I hope that isn't entirely true. Sometimes I get a little competitive and I'll, bring out a list that's going to be a little bully-some. Is that a word? It's a word now.
We just invented it. That's how words get made.
But hopefully you're having a good time while getting bullied. That is my goal.
Oh no! I have made the joke about how you and Matt Booker have the best aftercare of any trouncing that I have ever received. You're like, bam, bam, bam. It's okay. It's okay. It's gonna be fine. Bam, bam, bam. Like that is how it feels sometimes. It's like you guys are so nice, so I can't be mad that I'm like losing to you. But also, it's like, all right, you guys know your stuff. You know your stuff.
But you don't always lose. If I recall correctly, you beat me one of the first times we ever played, right? So,
Hey, broken clocks being right twice a day. It happens. It happens. Yeah. No, I think I kind of like what they said on between two sprues. They were talking us up after the GT, and we just have a really good community down here. Like I know some people have been struggling to get a Shatterpoint community off the ground, and some of it is life, and they're too busy to grassroots it themselves, and no one else is taking the reins, and I get that. But I mean, we got people who apparently are but more than one person is like, I wonder if I could convince my partner to move to Phoenix just so that I could get some more gaming in. And I'm like, wow, we're doing something right, I suppose, if people are talking like that.
I send them messages that are like, do it, move to Arizona. Yeah. Yeah, no, we have a really good community here.
Yeah, it's just warning everyone, the reason we have such a good gaming community is because it's too hot to be outside for like half the year. So we have to go inside and play games.
That's so true. When I went to California for their SoCal Open, I was looking around saying, yeah, there's a lot of people here, but I feel like there should have been more. Where are they? Someone was like, they're outside enjoying the weather. So we can't do that in Arizona. So.
Yes, they have an ocean over there, Chris. Come on now. they they have a cool, pretty water to look at and be outside in. We don't have.
I can't comprehend that.
It's nice that the sun isn't trying to kill them. Meanwhile, the Australians are like, yeah, you have it outside. Okay, fine.
We don't have giant spiders and creatures that our military has struggles beating back, I guess. So we have that to be thankful for.
Yes, yes. All right, all right. So I think we've got the introduction part out of the way. Let's see. What have you been up to recently? Shatterpoint wise, hobby wise, Star Wars wise. What's going on in Chris's world?
I have basically been keeping a low profile since Smite. I spent a lot of energy there. I got sick and then just kind of have been coasting a bit and saying, all right, I just need to I kind of already know what I want to do, and I made list adjustments and I've been practicing those. So just preparing for some upcoming tournaments, LVO and Sci-Fi. So not a whole lot though going on. I've been doing like the bare minimum of the weekly meetup stuff, and aside from that, just resting and trying not to, you know, have zero energy going into a grand tournament.
Yeah, no, I understand that because I was just listening to Coordinated Fire's latest episode. I'm not done with it, but because I was listening to it on the car ride home from work today, and yeah, they were talking about like the self care and making sure everything's ready. They were doing a good job. If you need a recent episode from somebody talking about GT prep, yeah, go listen to their latest episode. I think it's 18, something like that, and yeah, get ready. We have to rest, hydrate, bring snacks, wear comfy shoes, all that. I'm not going to rehash it. Go listen to them. But yeah, there's something to be said about these long days. You think, "Oh, I'm playing a game. I'm playing my miniatures game. This is fine." And then, 9 plus hours later, you're in a shriveled little raisin.
Well, you wore compression socks at Smite Club, didn't you? You had mentioned that it was working for you.
Yeah, thank you to Mountain Mike. Shout out. Those were great. So yeah, more recommendations. Compression socks. Those are a thing. Hey, I still stand by. You will probably see me using my yoga mat at LVO if you're going to LVO. Again,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even care because stretching is important, having something for your feet. Like I have a fold up yoga mat. Like it folds up into a nice neat square. It fits inside or on top of a terrain box to invest in your comfort, everybody. These are long days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you been up to though?
I have just been getting ready for LVO. There's so much last minute. So I'm taking a page out of Damio Matt's book, especially after some of the tables were set up kind of goofily at Smite Club, and so I've done two things to get us ready. I created the table reference cards like Damio Matt has for his tables to like start the turn zero conversation because we're also I know every TO says this, but even though we keep beating this drum to death, people still skip the turn zero talk or they talk about one of the things that you should talk about at turn zero, and then suddenly they get an hour deep in the game, and one of the things they didn't talk about is there. So I created these table references that one they have just to make things easier on players. They have the exact order of you choose your two squads, the whole the whole turn zero, what you're supposed to do before the start of the game. I'm not going to rattle it off on the top of my head because I don't want to get it wrong. That's why I have a reminder card for everyone, and then a note of like the three things you're supposed to talk about during turn zero, and then some like table specific stuff because of the generator rooms and the fractured city and the 3D printed. So I spent a bunch of time getting like those, well, one typed up and looking nice, and there's some flavor text because I liked Matt's idea. So I worked on getting those cards. They're almost done. The laminator shut off on me because it was getting too hot, so I had to wait. Let's see, what else did I tried to. See, this is the less boring stuff. So, everyone, you will have prizes at LVO because I'm still printing one of the metal stands. Anyway, Todd's working on making them look pretty. I'm the one with the workhorse with the 3D printer, try to get the last minute stuff touches ready ready for Todd to paint.
Exciting. Exciting.
I know, riveting stuff. This is what you came here for. I haven't played any games this week. I was hoping that I could finish Jin and Bodhi before LVO so that I could bring that just in case like I had a for fun list. I mean, they got paint on them. They're not. They're like half done. I think Bodhi still has like a gray beard, like he looks like an old man because it's just the primer. It's the primer underneath, like, and his face is like half done. It's work in progress. Work in progress.
Amazing. This is Bodhi if you survive. Spoilers.
Oh, if he
No.
survives. Oh, I think we can spoil a 10-year-old movie, Chris. It's okay. These are Star Wars fans. If you haven't seen Rogue One, please stop this episode. You don't need to listen to me anymore. Go watch Rogue One. It's a good movie. If you haven't seen
Pretty
it,
good. It's pretty good.
like, please, I come back. You can hear the rest of this episode later. That's more important. Okay, so I mean, my boring get ready for LVO. Hopefully, all that goes well because I believe this episode will be airing while I think it's either while we're at LVO or maybe just immediately after. So, yay! LVO went fantastic, right, everybody? We all did a great job. Whoa! I don't know. Well, there's my uh, sending good vibes to future Aubrey from past
Yeah.
Aubrey that will be future Aubrey. I don't know how this whole recording in advance thing works. Whatever.
As long as you can look back at it and say, past Aubrey is a great guy, then you're on target. I know that I'm constantly looking back saying, past Chris is a jerk. So, usually after he does something like, I should go to bed, but my friends want to play a game of League of Legends and it's 10 p.m., so it's fine, right? 3 games later, past Chris is a jerk.
Yep, I did that with my magic cards because I was looking through them, trying to like, I decided I wanted to test myself and see if I made the right decision by switching hobbies, Chris. And so I looked at my one of my old magic decks that I knew wasn't updated because it was a tournament deck, and I was like, okay, how many cards is it missing out of 75 cards? It's only missing like 17 cards that are like new cards that have come out. Ooh, here's a fun one. How much of a nerd is Chris on random games he doesn't play? How much do you think it would cost for me to update my Pioneer, not Modern, not Legacy, not Commander, my Pioneer, so like the baby old format? How much would it take me to update it? 17 cards. Little pieces of cardboard with pictures on them.
17's a lot, and for Magic, I don't know. I want to say somewhere around $300, like north of $300.
Ooh, okay. That's a reasonable number, but it was 200. 200.
Okay.
But yes, exactly, 200. Or as I like to think of it, 4 Shatterpoint boxes
Right.
basically. Like I could buy four full I could buy a premier list basically, assuming you get the right boxes and put them together in fun ways. I could build a premier list for the cost of I can't do math. 17 out of 75. What is that? Like a sixth of my deck ish. Whatever. I have an English degree, not a math degree. It shows when I'm rolling dice.
A bright side of Shatterpoint is that your units won't rotate unless they're Magna Guards, but for the most part, they
Right.
won't rotate. So
Right. That's poor Magnagars. See, bear in mind, the reason I have to update the deck is not because my cards even went out of the format. It's just Wizards of the Coast has been lighting everything on fire and printing better versions of everything. Like most of what I have to buy is my mana base, like my lands. We already had really good lands in this format, and then they gave us better ones. Why? We didn't need that.
in a living game, I feel like power creep is inevitable. like, and it's not unhealthy either, because I think you want that to an extent. If your game is never getting challenged by new stuff, it would probably get boring, right?
Okay, yes. Look, everyone, Chris is being the voice of reason here. Yes, we would get bored. I suppose if Count Dooku was the best primary still, after all these other primaries came out, we would probably be annoyed by now. So, fine. See, I don't know where you are, Todd, but Chris is already pulling me back. He's telling me I can't run over any children with the bus. Fine,
Whoa!
whatever.
How did we get here?
Oh,
The
right.
question.
Chris, you haven't figured out that just because I'm a children's librarian doesn't mean I don't have dark humor. Come on. I
Amazing.
I had a day, sidebar. I had a day at work today. I don't know if Mercury was spinning the wrong direction or something, but people and I were not communicating well. The public at the library, communication was hard today. Things like "What is your password?" became an extended conversation.
Yeah. Some days be like that. But it's over now. You're safe. No one can hurt you except for
Yes, except for bullies
anyway.
online.
Except for bullies online. Yeah.
All right, all right, okay. So, what we wanted to do today was kind of a continuation, and I suppose a conclusion because we've kind of have covered. Let's see, we did rebels and republic and scoundrels and like a little bit of like when we did scoundrels, we kind of did a little bit of separatists because right now it's hard to divorce Riff Tamsin from his scoundrel buddies as opposed to his separatist buddies. So the reason Chris is here is to talk more about our, once formerly known as the boogeyman of the format. Da 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 da. Oh no, we're not good anymore. Maybe the Empire and maybe a little bit of separatists. Although I don't know. Does Riff mean separatists are good, or does Riff mean Riff is good?
I think Riff's just good. But I mean, he is a separatist, so you could. There are honestly fine combinations with him. But yeah, no, Riff's good. New things are. I mean, we can't always say new things are good because that's just not always true. I wish that CT9904 was good when he came out, and I just kept on trying and trying, and I was like, I think this guy just solves a question that hasn't been asked yet, and that's where I was with it. And then the question never got asked, so then we have to say, oh, well, maybe the question was, is he good? And the answer is not one that I liked.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think we're just gonna keep digging into card game metaphors for this episode for whatever reason, but this would happen all of the time in Magic because they release sets of like 300 pieces ish, every so often, and so people are always like, "This card's going to be the best thing ever," and you're reading the card and you're like, "No, it's not." Like what do you mean? And you just rinse and repeat this. And one of my Magic friends, he is famous for going into discords and deconstructing exactly why the new hype card is bad in like a 15 bullet point list. And he's like, this card is worse than this, and this. Stop hyping it. But I think he got bored because people would get grumpy when he wouldn't be the hype man for them.
people like to be hype. It's exciting. Talking about the new stuff and getting hyped about how well it's going to do is really exciting, or how scary it's going to be. Like we've been excited about Boss, right?
And
Boss is exciting, and Cassian.
mm-hmm,
And there
mm-hmm.
hasn't been an Empire release in a while. I mean, we had what? We had Krennic came out with Cassian, and that was what was that? Like, it ended up being a month after Adepticon,
Yes.
and neither of them really did anything. I mean, there weren't any grand tournaments within earshot, but they, like, both those primaries were just kind of good. and we weren't blowing the tops off of metas for a bit with them. But Empire hasn't gotten any new releases, and Rebels have.
Right. And some of that is I'm learning about the pace of tabletop miniature design and how it's different from card games, and that like when you get new stuff and it's obvious that they have explored and learned a lot about the expertise trees and the combat trees and what, or even what makes a model good, and so we're seeing the evolution of things. And yeah, until we get another Empire box, which now that I think about it, Balin and the Night Sister. Why can't I?
Morgan.
Elspeth. Morgan
Yeah.
Elspeth. Yeah. Um, are they even going to be Empire tagged? Do you think? Like, because they're kind of like they're helping the Empire, but are they really I gotta think about that
I
now.
mean, they worked with the Empire, but they might not be Empire. Who knows? In the Ahsoka show, Thrawn
Hmm.
calls Balin a mercenary. That's all I got. That so maybe they won't be Empire tagged. They'll just be agnostic. I don't know.
Ooh, okay, all right, but that's getting us too far into the weeds. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
think of when we'll get some new Empire, and then we'll probably see more of a resurgence. I think there's also just the fact that I don't think that Empire is necessarily bad, but new toy syndrome. People want to play with the newest toys, and the newest toys are Rebel and Republic.
Yeah. I mean, is it just that it's new though? You have, for example, you have Iden, right? And no, Iden isn't new, and so maybe that's less exciting because of that. But I don't know. Honestly, I've been enjoying playing Iden the last few weeks, which is weird because I didn't really enjoy her at her height of power. And I've been playing a lot of Iden, so I think they're fine. It's just it's just going to be what's your goal? Is your goal to win a grand tournament? Then you probably want something that's doing less or doing more of the work for you, so you don't have to do all the work in order to have the best possible win percentage. But I don't know that it's just new stuff excitement. Do you really think that's all it is?
This is more. I'm not trying to say it's any one thing. What I think it is it's multiple variables all coalescing. Like, am I saying that Cassian and Boss aren't amazing? No, they're really highly tuned. They're very good with their respective toolbox and kit. I mean, I also think it has somewhat to do with the supports that they got, because now you're seeing basically what we were saying for what a year and a half is that Rebels needed one more support, and then that was going to kind of unlock everything. And then what did they give us? Not just one more support, but Baze and Chirrut, which are insane.
Basically, yeah.
Like, so it's also like they could have given us like another Rebel Commandos, and we would have been like, okay, this is cool, this is fine, and like we'll slot this in. This will be good. No, no, no. Let's have what is probably one of the best supports thus far in the game, and it works with everything that Rebel wants to do. Okay, all right.
Somebody's going to have the best support. And somebody's going to have maybe at a times there might be like this where someone's got the best two supports. I happen to think that Rebels right now have the best two supports, but it wasn't always like this. And there was a point in time where Empire had probably the best two supports. Someone's going to have it, and I don't know. I think that's fine. Like, I think of Boss and the conversations around Cassian, and I think, okay, well, what if Cassian wasn't the top of the meta right now? Because he probably is. He's got a great play rate and a great win rate. If it wasn't Cassian, it would probably be Boss. I think Boss is just kind of being held back a little bit by Cassian. He's a little bit of a, I don't want to say a counter, but uh, when you're playing an aggressive list into a list with a bunch of mobility and revenge, it can be a difficult game to pilot. So, uh, but I do think if Cassian didn't exist, Boss would be on top right now.
Right. And this is and by the way, for those dear listeners, for those of you who are not on YouTube, we do have up the current statistics, the breakdown. Basically, the filtering I did was like mid-May to try and hit the beginning of the errata up until today's date. And when we're looking at the top 5 rankings, we're looking at from 62% down to 57%. And the top 5 are Boss, Cassian, Charming Leia, Kanan, and Jin. So famously, basically, like that could be your premier list if you're Rebel, if you want to play full Rebel Alliance, if that's your jam, like me. Like you could just take those four right there. That could be fine. And we also got General Solo floating in just at sixth place. But then Boss is at the top of all of them by a grand total of 1%.
I mean, he actually is at the top, but he doesn't have nearly as much robust data behind him. But yeah, I
Right.
mean,
There's only 500 games versus 1,500. So I would say probably once Boss gets more games, Cassian bumps him. Or they might, or maybe they dance.
but what
Maybe they.
if? But what if he goes up higher?
Okay, so we were talking about this a little bit before we started recording. So in Magic the Gathering, and I know these stats just because. Oh, my dad. My dad, he had one child. He put all of his eggs in that basket, and he always wants me to do well at everything. If I'm going to be competitive at something, I better be the best. And I had to explain to him that I had what I felt was a pretty good, because I used to track, because I was way more competitive with Magic. I used to track my win rates over everything I played all the time. I had spreadsheets, blah, blah, blah. And I had about a 55% win rate. As a non-pro player, non-professional, like this was just me being a tryhard in my own little backyard. I never made it to the Pro Tour. I never made it to big qualifier events. And I had 55%. The best Magic players in the world sat around a 65% win rate. So that meant the best players in the world walking down and sitting at the table, conversely, 1 in 3 games they should be losing. Full stop.
Yeah, that sounds about right for a card game. I played a lot of Hearthstone, which had very good tracking for different deck win rates. I didn't play Magic. My Hearthstone win rates were a lot lower than my StarCraft win rates, but that's just because of like how card games work. I think most things probably are between that 60 to 40% win ratio. And I don't know, at least for me, I know if I was sitting at a 45% win ratio with a deck that I made myself and didn't net deck anything, I was pretty happy with 45%, but it was hard. It was really, really hard. But when you're
Yeah.
playing it with a deck that is on the other side of the spectrum, or against it, it can feel insurmountable, even though 60% is not insurmountable. Not really, but it feels oppressive.
Right. Right. And that's kind of the conversation. And I know don't worry. We will get to Empire specifically. We'll talk about lists. Or mostly, this is just me going to be picking Chris's brain about what I want to do if I with like Vader 3 and stuff, because I still haven't had a chance to play a lot with Empire, and so I'm gonna pick his brain. But the other conversation is just the meta, and the meta right now is Republic and Rebels, and then a smattering of scoundrelly things between Mando and Riff, and that actually reminds me, where is Riff settling? Because before we start talking, oh wow, man, we need to get some more games with Riff, because that number does not seem to reflect his like results that I've seen, but I don't know. He has two. So sorry, dear listeners, for those of you not on YouTube, Riff, according to the current stats, is sitting at a 45% win rate, but only 256 games. So more data. We need more data. Play Fish Boy.
I think he's not super obvious how to play either. So put in more reps practicing him, and you'll see a good
That's
payoff.
Yeah, that's a lot of what I've been seeing in the Discord is that people are like, "Oh, I didn't realize you could do this with him, and I didn't realize that this ability worked that way." And so that guy sounds to me at least like he needs a little more time to unlock. Kind of like people weren't putting Jin on the table right away, and then they kept reading her card and kept reading her card, or Hera. Remember when Hera came out and everybody was like, "Ooh, she's really slow," and then the Zi-Fi guys went,
Yeah.
Not if you play them well, not if you play her well."
Yeah. I remember in StarCraft, I would look at, like, I liked to do things that were just slightly off meta, so that a part of me has never changed. But I would look at tournament builds for like top players that sometimes didn't win, right? But I would look at that and say, but this guy felt confident enough doing that in a high stakes tournament up against some of the best players in the world, and he even is one of the best players in the world. So if they're confident enough to take that list, that strategy, that says something, and it says he probably put in a bunch of practice and was winning with it outside of that tournament game that everybody got to see. So my where I'm going with this is a lot of people have been taking Riff recently, even in Top Cut. I think you should trust those players and say, some of these people are really, really good, and they're doing really well with this guy, so they think there's something there, or they're bored.
Yeah.
But it's probably not that.
Or they're bored. I don't know about GTs. Like,
Yeah, I don't
if
think it.
a lot of the players that I hear talk, they are not like me, where their life is insanely busy, and if I get out to play once a week, I'm thrilled. I mean, I am planning on going to Mr. E's for the monthly tournament on Sunday, which we're recording Saturday night, so tomorrow. So I mean, I am planning on playing Shatterpoint. It's just after the recording, so it doesn't count because it's tomorrow. But I mean, a lot of people play a lot of games. They're doing stuff for fun. I know this may be shocking, but people sometimes play games for fun. Chris, can you believe that?
Winning is fun. What do you mean?
Winning that's what everyone always says. I know. But to kind of piggyback on your point, I would say in any game where there's variance involved, and we have an order deck, we have dice, we have what the flip of the struggle and what objectives turn on. We have the priority. We have the priority point. There's so many, and that's just talking about your dice. Then you have your opponent's dice in the mix too. And so I would say in games of high variance, like card games, like these tabletop games, having a spread of 40 to 60 is not bad. Now, Boss and Cassian are inching over 60%, but not by much. Like, we're talking 61, 62. I don't know. When are we supposed to start yelling that the sky is falling?
Never. Don't do that. I've heard you shouldn't do that. Because then
Wait,
nobody
isn't that the
trusts
moral of the story?
you. I think so. If you let somebody
Hey,
else
Chris
yell
has
that
read
the
a
sky
book.
is on fire, and then you can come in and say, you can wait, see how it turns out, and say, I told you so, whichever way it may be. And then you're good.
Yeah. Cause I mean, there's some exciting things in here. Like Ahsoka Tano Jedi No More is jumping up the queue, and I've been hearing some good things about people who have been from people who have been running her. And she's at 52%. I mean, even Fulcrum Ahsoka 51%. I mean, that's not terrible.
I mean, I played a lot of Grand Inquisitor also when he was at a 40% win ratio pre-rata, and I had a lot of success with him, not in a grand tournament setting, but I did okay, and you know, that's fine. So you can play things that are 40%. You can play things that are higher than that. And most of these things, what's the lowest win ratio, Aubrey?
It's Veers at 22%. It's bad.
It's not a lot of
It's
games though,
bad.
to be honest.
No.
Yours is different, so I don't have it filtered by because you have filtered it right from the errata
Yeah,
onward,
from
right?
yeah, this is just the past what is that? 4 months, mid-May to today, so a little over 4 months of data.
Right. Sorry, not errata. It was like a balance patch. But yeah, I have the
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
data set up, and he's at a 34% win ratio, so he's almost 40. He's there. He's getting there.
Well, right, and
Stormtroopers have just never really been it, right? Like I think everyone has always been waiting on the cusp of what's next for Stormtroopers, and we were like, man, when Krennic comes out, then we'll have all the Stormtroopers to make it work, and we probably do. I actually was putting in some reps with Krennic and Veers together, and they're a fine, serviceable list now. If you really want to play that against Cassian, it works. It works. It's just not. Again, it's just a matter of how much does this list pull for you versus how much are you pulling for the list, and it does work, but I thought there might be something a little bit more beneficial for me going into a grand tournament setting. So
well, right. This is the at the end of the day, something is going to be best. Say we deleted the top 10 units from existence on the spot with a magic push of the button, and they no longer ever existed. Well, there's going to be a new number one. like
yeah,
like that's it. And maybe it would the rest of the list would look completely different because we deleted the top 10 primaries from the game, and now other stuff is, jockeying for position, and you have a different meta. So I mean, that's kind of just how games go. And I mean, hey, I was feeling a little sad there for a while when I was trying to make Republic work, and it just wasn't jiving, just wasn't jiving, just wasn't jiving over and over. I mean, and part of it was me. Like, I wasn't enjoying their play style too. And now, I mean, I'm not even playing Republic that much because, the Rebel stuff is really, really good, and I like Rebels. like, it's kind of no brainer for me, at least. But
yeah.
I mean, Empire got to run roughshod over the meta for a while, and now they're kind of getting the other end of it. And then hopefully, like, I hope the goal is that there'll be like a churn of this, right? That different things will rise up as we get more boxes, or people figure out different strategies. Because I think there's still, I don't think we're locked into this is Cassian's world and there's nothing we could do about it. I think there's still time to figure out all of these new models and how they interact with each other.
I remember when I was getting ready for Evergreen. I don't know, like a month before that point, I was saying, okay, what am I going to run for this? What do I want to do? I was kind of playing a lot of Kanan around that time, so I thought, well, what about Kanan, Cassian? And it was okay until I kind of threw Baze and Truid into the mix, and then I was like, "Ooh, I think this is really good. This might be a thing." And I went to some friends that have been playing the game here, right? Like Matt Booker, for example, and I said, "Hey, look at this list that I got." And we kind of did the same thing. We both showed up with our hands behind our back with these lists, and we pulled them out at the same time. It's the same list. And he was like, "Oh, right. Oh, we got the same thing." And then we kind of started to look around at the community, seeing what people are saying, and that happened a lot where it was this popped up and we're like, oh, I guess we weren't really, really smart and ahead of the curve. That's just what is going to happen with this list. And then I immediately lost interest in doing that thing because I don't really care about Rebels that much. I don't really care that much about the Rebels aesthetic. Like I love Kanan from the show, and I love their story arcs and stuff. So there's a part of me that really enjoys those characters, but I don't really care about the Rebels. So why would I play them if I don't, get that extra kick of joy from just putting them on the table, like I do when I put B2s or Death Troopers on the table, and I'm like, oh yeah, those guys are so cool. I want that.
Yeah, no, I absolutely get it. I mean, I am a Rebel Jedi fanboy. Like, those are the characters I resonate with the most. But even I have a particular feeling about it. I pretty much need to have at least one or two Jedi or Force users or adjacent characters in my list, or I'm not as
Hmm.
happy either. Like I'm pretty sure there's something there with like Cassian, like General Solo, like you saw he's at 6. Like that's an entirely awesome list. I will probably never play it because I like having at least like, Luke or Leia or Kanan or Ezra. Like, well, I mean, okay, I guess Ezra counts. Ooh, I might have talked myself
There's a
into something
lightsaber
there.
there.
But no, I get that. My point is I get what you're saying. Like I don't want just this to just be Cassian's town and you're all having to live in it and I'm happy because of Rebels. Well, no, I'm still begging AMG, hey, give me Temple Guards as a support so I can play a full Jedi list. That's what I want. Like it even bugs me that like right now it feels like the best place, like if you want to build a full inquisitor list, like all of the possible inquisitor combinations, the best way to do it is also with Cassian, because then you have the nine pointer that you need, because like Krennic has too many synergies with um see, I don't even play with Krennic. What is his synergies, are they with stormtroopers? I'm trying to
He
remember.
kind of wants the stormtrooper for his. He's got an ability at the very top that can tell a stormtrooper to do a thing out of activation. But that's the only thing he
Yeah.
has that works with stormtroopers. So, but he does kind of want it.
Yeah, see, like even that bug, like you're either giving up one of his abilities or you're giving up one of Cassian's abilities, and also, unless Cassian's being real careful about being undercover, I'm not sure I want to be the rebel spy infiltrating the Fortress Inquisitorius. Like, yeah, let's invade the evil space wizards who can read minds. That seems like a great plan.
How hard could it be? Obi-Wan did it with a little girl under his cloak, okay, or under his trench coat. How hard could it be? I'm sure
I
Cassian would
don't.
be fine.
I don't even want to. I don't even want to talk about that. One of my coworkers was talking about how they're like, "Well, I liked Book of Boba Fett. Why does everybody complain about it?" And I was like, "Well, hey, I liked Obi-Wan Kenobi, but there was some weird, goofy stuff going on in that show." And she was like, "What? What do you mean?" And I was like, "Do you remember him hiding a tiny girl in the middle of a military installation, a secret military installation, and just carting her out?"
Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
Just little legs. You telling me not a single stormtrooper looked down? Like they aren't that bad.
They can't see through those visors. Everybody knows that. Okay, we've been through this. This is why Rex talked about it. He said, "I can't see anything in this helmet." And he takes it off and chucks it down the hall, and then he starts shooting better. So maybe they couldn't see.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. So enough doom and gloom. Let's look at something interesting. So we had a recent event over in Austin, Texas, a GT where they just had 4 rounds, right? Yeah, 4 rounds of Swiss, and this was done by community member Cody Hawkins, over there in Texas, and they had a very interesting meta. Chris, how far did we have to scroll in this top 8 to see a Cassian? Huh?
Where's Cassian? Guys, what's going on
Right.
in Texas? Where's Cassian?
Right? I was like, one, two, three, four,
Uh-uh.
five, six. The sixth player is the first time we see a Cassian. Instead, it's and mind you, the second place player just decided to run specters. He's got Harricaden, like, so it's not like rebels weren't represented, you know, at the top tables, but no Cassian.
I'm so curious about this. I need somebody to get on the Discord and just shoot a message and be like, "This is what happened. Our meta is heavily Republic," or whatever the case. It would be like, or we all made a pact. We all showed up and said no Cassian, and 6 people got shunned from the event afterward. Like, I need to know what happened.
Well, okay, look at the fourth place list. Is that Padme frickin' Amidala? Like
Mm-hmm.
what's
Mm-hmm.
what was this list? Like now I'm clicking on it cuz I want to like all right, so boss list, oh Padme box, uh yeah, Obi-Wan Rex, Clone Commandos, that's pretty standard, and then Mace, Barris, Arf. So okay, on sabotage, but somebody
Tell me she was
unironically
run one
bought.
time.
Yeah, I was like, "Where's the versus?" Let's see. Okay. Uh, yeah. Oh, it looks like it was an anchor list with. Oh no, this was one round where they. It was almost an anchor list with what's going on here? And they won the game.
Padme with
They won.
boss?
Yeah,
Interesting.
they won the game with Padme Boss and lost the game with Boss Obi. Well, okay, I mean they ran that twice, so what is this? I don't know what's going on.
Fascinating. That loss was versus Rudy. Rudy's pretty good.
Yeah, that's fair. That
I mean,
that
all
that's
these
fair.
players are probably pretty good, honestly.
Well, yeah, no, for only 17 players, this looks like it was a pretty fun event. But again, I mean, so also look at this. Now, somebody really having fun went 2-2 with full separatist premiere. Riff, Grievous, Dooku, Asajj. Is that Savajo Press in?
It is. It is. And I bet you he ran Count Dooku, Savage Magnagard, along with the Rift Hampson box and said, hey, what happens if Savage gets Aqua Dice and throws 11 dice?
Wait, except he. What
I'm
is
looking up
this
Savage
too?
right now to see how many dice he can actually throw. If Savage gets 3 extra dice from Aqua and then he's throwing an attack at a primary, he's rolling 12 dice, maybe 13 if he focused.
Okay, that's pretty good, except look at the pairings. I don't think he ever ran. Am I missing it? I don't think he ever ran
No, he didn't.
Riff with Dooku. What? See, what's happening?
I mean, that's fine. I was just wish listing, honestly, saying, well, what if Savage did these things? I mean, Savage can. There's actually some really cool tech with that if you go Savage, because Savage gets Unwitting Brute, which lets him dash when Dooku activates. So you could activate and put Dooku on a midline objective and Savage on the same midline objective. That can be really scary to deal with. So Savage is still fine. It's just, we just don't see a lot of Separatists, right?
Right. Well, and I mean, still, you couldn't have given him one shove anywhere. You know what? I would have taken the shove on the very last step. Like, because isn't it like a free activation of his ability? Isn't that his last? I'm trying to
It
remember.
is.
It's been a
It is.
while since
Don't
I've played. Right?
You
Just
don't
random
need
shove and
shoves
that.
if they dead. Okay, that is the rule. You don't need shoves if they dead. Okay, you throw enough dice, then you kill them with Dark Fury. Don't need shoves.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So yeah, I guess my point of wanting to talk about, well, other than you brought this up as a good event to look at. I'm not taking credit for that part, but I guess I want to point out that you don't. I'd say you don't need Cassian to win. I mean, the top 8 does have Cassian here, but I this event is like I really hope to hear more about this event from someone who is
Me
there
too. Yeah, absolutely.
because
5 bosses
this
from the
seems
top
cool.
8 players. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, yeah. Let's see.
Yeah.
I think so. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, yeah. So, oh well, you know what, Chris? I haven't asked you this. How do you forget Rebels for a minute? I know people are very grumpy about blow up the town and how it can really pile on when you're ahead in a game. Uh, but how do you feel about Boss? How do you feel about his kit? I mean, obviously he's putting up numbers. He's doing the work.
Okay. Boss I think Boss might be the single best primary activation in the entire game. When you draw this guy's card, by far it's got to be the best one, the best of all the primaries, where you say, oh yeah, something's about to happen, right? At least, I don't know. Like I just he just has so much going on, so much that he can do. I frequently feel like with and against him that I am just going to get the thing killed. If I want to kill something, it's going to die, or I'm going to get mobility out of it at the least. I don't know. He's just so reliable. He just throws a bunch of dice. Of course, when he does fail you, like any primary that is throwing a bunch of dice and wants to do dice things, when it fails, it hurts so badly. But he doesn't fail often. He really doesn't. He can just
Well,
move his
I
whole
mean,
team, though.
yeah, he has so
This
much
man is not just
mobility.
murdering things. Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean he can murder things, sure, and he probably does do that frequently. And there's a play style of there's a player out there that's going to say this will kill something every single time. I will take 6 damage on activation, go up the map, and I can be across the map meleeing you. I think on turn 1, he can advance 3 times and be in your deployment. He can do that.
yeah,
He can, and yes, he's probably going to kill that thing. That's not every player. That's not every boss pilot. Sometimes the boss pilot will say, all right, we're going to do this and move all these guys with my bomb, and they all get hunker tokens. Delta Give Me an Explosive Solution says each allied character on this objective gets to dash and get a hunker token. Each allied character, not each allied unit. So if you have
yeah,
7 Scorch both on the same objective and you just dash them, let's say they're in the middle of the map on shifting priorities, and you blow up that objective and they both dash to different objectives, so you're kind of getting bodies there, and now you just gave this support 2 hunker tokens. That's noteworthy.
yeah, yeah. It's again, this is, and I mean, I think we see AMG also understands this in their design because when they decided to essentially to touch Iden, they didn't actually change Iden at all. They changed the units that were going with Iden. And this is the same thing where, yeah, Boss's kit is really good and he can be super killy, but I think one of the scarier things is when he uses that give an explosive solution to go have 7 Scorch go do scary things. And 5 point
You
five
just need
point
to know when
supports.
the yeah. Yeah, you need to know when to pump the brakes with this guy because his activations feel so good because they probably are the best primary activations in the game that you need to know when not to activate him and when to activate your support with the Shatterpoint instead. At a certain point, you just need bodies, and he's still just a single body, so if your bodies have been put down, you can't go with him because just like Iden, late game flipping a single objective is not enough to win a game
No, no,
sometimes.
that's why I still have a hard time even with Chopper. Like I love he is a good unit, but that single body problem, deep in struggle 2 or 3, like it can just cost you because you just need one more body somewhere, and he, he can shove somebody off, awesome, or wound somebody, but what if I need to do something besides those things?
Yeah. Well, then you have to have planned like a 4D chess game, 7 turns ahead, that something's going to be on 1 hit point. Chopper is going to kill it, and then you use Chopper. Sometimes you do it right to reposition Kanan to another objective. Look, I'm doing the best I can do. Aubrey, you're the Spectres player.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm sorry, no.
It almost never
Okay,
happens.
so yeah, no. I actually used that ability. I used that ability twice in one tournament, and that was after having basically never used that ability. And then I was like, "Oh, I have this other thing I can do." And I'm like, "All right, I'm actually going to do this." And then it came up again, and I was like, "Oh, this is really awesome." But again, how often are you really doing those things is the real question.
I bet you felt like a tactical mastermind though in those moments, and your opponent was like, "How is he doing this?
Oh yeah, no,
Chopper
it
just
felt
moved two
awesome,
things."
right? It did feel awesome. It felt really cool, but also that's happened, and I've played a lot of Chopper
Yeah.
games at least. Um, okay, but we're still now we started talking about Rebels again. We're supposed to talk Empire. What do we think looking at this meta where Boss and Cassian are running roost over everything, and anything that
Mhm.
survives them is getting bonked on the head by the armorer is what I'm seeing in the top 10. How do we think we can construct you know what? Dealer's choice. Separatists, Empire. What is
Mhm.
what is the way forward for our poor Palpatine was right crowd?
So we're gonna start with something, and then we're gonna put Cassian on the. No, I'm kidding. Um,
No, I don't
I'm
want
kidding. I'm
Cassian
kidding.
in my Inquisitorious list.
Yeah. Is our goal to beat Cassian or just to have a good game?
We're
Because
almost
they're
an
not.
hour in. I think it's up to you at this point.
Mm, okay. I think that honestly, anything Empire is okay. Like Empire is in a fine spot. I just took a full Empire Premier list to Smite Club Open. Most of that is because I have friends who are bad influences on me. I'm looking at you, Sarah Cruel, when you listen to this in 3 weeks. Okay, you you turn me to the dark side, and I go play Empire. um, but they're okay. Like they still have some really good stuff. They do, and like Dark Troopers are still fantastic. They feel so good to put them on the table. Um, they have some pitfalls, and that's what you have to deal with. But I don't know. If I look at the Empire primaries, it's really hard to decide what I'm taking in terms of Empire to a tournament. They're all really good. You just have to decide. All right, first question: am I? It's not am I taking Vader? It's where am I taking Vader? Because there are three different Vaders, and they're all good. So you have to say, all right, is this like Vader? Is it going to be Vader under Krennic? Is he going to be taking orders from Krennic? Is it going to be Vader the Jedi killer? Galactic Republic, by the way, or is it going to be Vader Emperor's servant?
Hmm.
They're all so good. They all have a cost. Everything has a cost to play it. Um, so like honestly, all the things are good. Moff Gideon is still good. I know that for the longest time there was a lot of speculation that Moff Gideon was great at Swiss, but not great in Top Cut because you could play around his reserve tax by just not reserving and just finding a better play. That's just not true. Sometimes you can the order deck works out where you don't have to reserve, but this isn't something you can just always play around. And if you are quote unquote playing around it, sometimes you're taking a worse activation. So I don't know. Moff is still good. The things he does are good. The things all of Empire are bringing to the table is good, but they're maybe not tippity top of the meta good. Give it time. I still feel really good. I'm taking Iden to LVO. Anyone who is listening at LVO right now, as this airs, I have brought Iden. You probably just found out that I brought Iden, and I'm putting it down at the table in front of you while you listen to the podcast, and you go, "Oh, he has Empire." Iden's
Oh
really good.
boy. Okay, I have to out you though because you
Yeah.
you said you brought Empire to Smite Club, and I'm sorry. What is this character here? Captain Cassian Andor, along with Iden and Gi and Moff Gideon. Who is this
I did
Cassian
say
Andor character?
he sneaked in. I didn't plan it. I packed my box and I looked in the morning. I was like, "Oh, who's that?" Well, he's got an Empire outfit. I guess he's one of us.
This is why the Empire keeps losing. He just walks in like he knows what he's doing, and Vader's like, "Go fight those guys," and Cassian's like, "I'm not talking to you, Vader."
It's that rugged look. He just goes, "Okay," and he just, all right.
Also, excuse me, what is Obi-Wan Kenobi doing here? I thought this was an Empire list. Come on, come on.
Okay, okay. So the whole thought process that went into that, it's very similar to this other Empire list that has been going around the community with Iden Versio and Grand Inquisitor with Obi-Wan. Is the whole idea is okay, we got Force Refresh from Grand Inquisitor. He's just a great Force battery. And then we have Obi-Wan who we're gonna funnel that Force into, and everybody is disarmed. It's like Like the Oprah memes. You're disarmed and you're
You get a
disarmed.
disarm.
That's right. Everybody gets a disarm, and you just put them in the middle of the table, and you do that, and you're just having better math than everybody else, better math rocks than everybody else because you have Obi. Now we went a bit silly with this one, where we don't have an Inquisitor at all, other than Grand Inquisitor. We have Elite Squad Troopers, which they just blow stuff up. They're probably the best Empire support in the game, except they can't be considered because they're in a terrible era. So they can't be considered on a
Aw.
list at all because you end up with a list like
Yeah.
this where you look at that and you say, Grand Inquisitor's not a great activation. Obi-Wan, probably not a great activation. I hope I dodge all the landmines. I did
Mm.
somehow. I did dodge all the landmines. The disarm failed me in a critical moment, but I did dodge all the landmines. I don't know. I think that's probably a very normal list to see Iden Grand Inquisitor with Obi and some other friend.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, you had a good run. I mean, because again, forgive me, it's been a couple weeks. I was like, wait, how did Chris do at the event? I had to look. I had to look. For those of you who are not uh watching this on YouTube, I did bring up Chris's Smite Club list. Feel free to take a look at the we had SPT codes. I promise you could take a look at the whole list, and then I was just bringing up the pairings. So, how did you feel? Okay, so here we go. Here's a meta question. How did
Mm-hmm.
you feel running this into the Cassian and Boss Fest?
I didn't plan on playing it against Cassian. I planned on playing my Cassian against their Cassian and saying, like, control the Cassian gameplay. I was never planning on playing Iden Grand Inquisitor against Cassian because I don't think, like, I've tried it and it's okay, but okay wasn't what I was aiming for in this tournament. I was aiming for a better feeling strategy than that. I wanted something that felt good to great. So I was never planning on doing that. I think you probably are looking here at the lists of matchups and you see, when did he play Iden? Not against Cassian, not once, right?
Yep, I that's what I was looking at, and I'm like, okay, yep, that tracks. That does make
Yeah.
sense.
So I played Cassian against Cassian versus Hutchback, and I played Cassian against Nick. Uh, he ran me over absolutely, so much so that I lost all confidence in my list, even though, by the way, guys, it's a really good list. You should absolutely do it. It's fun. I just have this emotional connection to lists where if I have a really bad experience, I will just say, nope, you get to go into the box. I don't trust you anymore. We're going to go back to something else. And that's what happened. Nick just slapped me and took my lunch money. And, and I said, okay, you go into the box.
Aw, aw. Well, hey,
I,
you know what? We have a little chair and a dunce cap that is
mm,
for D&D dice on our bookshelf in our house. When the dice do bad things to you, they get put in timeout, facing the corner of the bookshelf with a little dunce cap on. These things happen. They
yeah.
happen.
My plan was to take Iden into boss. That was the whole plan. Is Iden into many things into boss. I actually didn't expect to play Iden as much as I did at Smite Club. It's just how it happened. I kind of got there and I very much so the heart wants what it wants and for whatever reason it chose violence on that day and I wasn't playing against a bunch of Cassians, so I got to play Iden a lot. And the plan was Iden into boss. They're going to murder me. I'm going to murder them. I don't think boss is so oppressive that I cannot win a game with Empire aggro into their aggro. I think it's fine. I've since refined that, and now I have an even aggroier list with Iden,
We're
and I'm going to
inventing
run
all
that
kinds
into
of
boss.
words.
Yeah, yeah. But look, the things you get to do with English majors, Aubrey. Okay.
Yes.
um,
No,
take
I
notes from
told
now on.
everyone I have a license to make whatever word I want at any time. That's what they gave me alongside my bachelor's degree in English. That spoilers, everyone. I don't use to bartend. I used to be a librarian after I paid for another degree. We're not going to talk about that.
Amazing.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. All right. So, well, all right. We're not spoiling any secret sauce here, and I'm not playing in the event. Do you want to talk about
Hmm.
your list for LVO, or do you want to save that for later? Because we could just talk like some fun Empire stuff if you want to go fun instead.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do for LVO because I think that you need an answer for Cassian, and I've got one. We're going to take Obi-Wan, General Obi-Wan, and Boss, and a lot of clones. Our plan is to play that against Cassian. Anytime we see Cassian, that's probably going on the table. I just want to because Cassian is a very dice reliant list. There's not a lot of tie breaks. There's not a lot of out of activation diceless displacement is what I meant to say, where they're just force eating you off of objectives that they just shoot you with rebel commandos and with Baze and Chirrut, and they blow up the town a lot. They really like to do that. They're terrible people, but like the whole
Terrorists,
plan is to
terrorists.
just yeah right. Freedom fighters. Okay, they're anyway. Um, yeah, so we're gonna play the Republic into Cassian because I think it's a favorable matchup. I enjoy the playstyle, and I'm just going to hunker a ton, heal a ton because I don't think they can punch through it most of the time. And if I see Boss on the other side of the table with Hunter, I'm gonna play my aggro side. So I'm gonna play Iden Versio, just that box as is. We've got Vader Jedi Hunter coming in as her partner. Okay, he's got Death
Oh.
Trooper Escort and ISB, and we're going to say, yeah, bring it on. Let's play a dice rocks game. We're just going to see what happens. Everything on this table will be dead. We are going to be in struggle 3, flipping one objective because you can't do anything else. That's the gameplay that I want because it turns out the Inferno box, when they have Vader dice, they hit harder than Armorer does in melee. So, like, Iden Versio hits
Oh.
harder than Armor. She's going to shut off your expertise with an expose ability. She's going to shut off your blocks, and she's still going to roll 9 or 10 dice at you. So, and she kills you in 5 boxes instead of 7, like Armor does. That's the plan.
Huh. All right. Okay. I will be honest, I was not expecting you to be rolling up with Republic, but here we are. I mean,
Yeah.
the kid gloves are coming off, huh? All right. All right.
I was practicing Republic for Evergreen, and then I got cold feet because I did not think that Delta was going to be out in time to run that at Evergreen. And like I said, I the heart wants what it wants. So a week later or 2 weeks later, 2 weeks later, somehow we ended up with all Empire because Cerakool, like I said, is a really bad influence on me. And he says, "You come to the dark side,
Josh.
do it." Yeah, play the Empire, show the dominance, And so I ended up doing that.
That's fair.
Republic is, I
That's
think, really
fair.
good. Yeah.
All right, all right. Then I have one. I have one final question because I think that covers. We've covered a lot of ground. We've been talking for a while. But if you were going to make just a for funsy Empire list, like it would just be 2 squads if you want. What would you do if you were just trying to have fun, not worried about kicking in everybody's teeth at LVO? What do you got for me, Chris?
One of my favorite units in Star Wars are stormtroopers. I just love stormtroopers. I don't know why. Just the regular white armored stormtroopers. They're cool. So I would run something with a bunch of stormtroopers and go, oops, all stormtroopers of some variety. Shores, deaths, DTE, sergeant, anything that supports that. So I guess Veers is on the table too, and probably Krennic. Like, we're just running a bunch of stormtroopers because they're neat. I just think they're neat. Okay, they're going to when you have Sergeant giving the dice sharing ability that he has, which is the same basically as what Fixer has and what Nasori has. Your stormtroopers roll a lot of dice, so that's just a really fun list. Go put stormtroopers on the table and make laser noises as you shoot at the heroes with your stormtroopers.
Hey, again, I appreciate because I know you've said this before. It was either on this cast or I don't know. You've been running the gauntlet, Chris. I'm impressed. You've been showing up everywhere. But you said something to the effect of you like to play the bad guys not necessarily because you always want to play the bad guys, but also because makes the game more fun because somebody has to be the bad guy. Am I getting the gist of that statement correct? I'm going
Absolutely.
off of memory here.
Absolutely. I will happily be your villain, whatever that villain might be. So, if you want to play Cassian, if you want to play the Rebels, I'll bring some stormtroopers and I'll pin you in place and you shout for the Empire and other things, like whatever Rick the door technician shouts. I don't know.
Wait. Have you played that game? Have you played Jedi
I
Survivor? Because I
have.
think
Hmm.
yeah. Okay. All right. So you you know the drill.
Absolutely.
That's so funny. I have to say, okay, I one of the lists I've been wanting to play, but I didn't pick up the box right away, and then it became very quickly apparent that it wasn't going to be good. Is I wanted to play Vader 2, the Fear and Dead Men box, alongside Veers with all the snowtroopers, and recreate that scene in like the Battle of Hoth where like Vader doesn't run. Like, you know, the only reason Han Solo escaped is because Vader doesn't run. He saunters everywhere. That's how Vader goes. There's this Anakin showing up, and he's just striding through the Rebel base like he owns the joint because they just blew up everything. And yeah, I wanna I that would be fun. I just by the time it came to be time to get the Veers box, it was like, oh, this box is not playing the way we thought it would when we read it the first time. Like, please, AMG, touch up some more boxes. We need some more boxes raced up.
They'll get there. Watch. There will be a future, maybe, where we have you get to do you live out that dream where you have your snowtroopers on the table and you're just, over there. You probably have your phone out making the Imperial March, music going. I hope you have an ice table. I don't know if you don't have like an Illum style table or a Hoth style table or something set up, Aubrey. I hope that in the future you do so that you can just have the full theme of Vader and the snow just walking up the table there.
Yeah. I do have the mat, but I'm gonna have to figure out. I mean, so technically, I do have the blue terrain, and we are planning on making some more blue terrain. So I think some of that will work for. It's not going to be like Rebel Hoth themed, but I think we'll get there at some point because there's some pretty cool terrain that has come out for the Rebel base on Hoth. I gotta look at it.
Mhm.
I gotta look at it still because I don't because it's for if I remember right, it's for Legion. It's not for Shatterpoint, so it doesn't have a lot of the interconnectivity. But I'm still confident. I have at least one other table idea where it's gonna be kind of like a hodgepodge of stuff, and I think I'm confident I can pull it off. And I think Legion terrain works pretty well. You have to be intentional with the scaling, and you got to be willing to tweak it a little and make it so that there's spaces for models to be on. But
Yeah.
it'll work. So
It'll
eventually,
be
the
amazing.
answer is the answer is eventually. That's I'm dangerous. I have a 3D printer and just enough money to keep printing out tables. Plus, if next year's LVO is as big as I'm hoping it will be, we're gonna need, we're gonna need more tables. We have just enough to run. Uh, what are we at now? We're at 20. We have 23 complete tables, just Todd and I, plus six more that Todd still has to paint. Plus, like, I have three or four more that are almost done, and we might have even more people than that if LVO goes well next year. I don't know.
How's this keep happening? The first year was like, okay, yeah, wow, we got to 64. Okay, yeah, we need more tables for next time. And we got to next time, you're going to need more tables for next time. Surely, once you have enough tables to support 256 players, we're fine, right? Do we need anything you could? So, what year will we be in? Like 2027, and you can start printing for yourself then, okay? Or will we
Right.
need it to replace the original set of tables with new ones, and then we'll
Well,
just print more stuff?
that is part of the problem because I know some people are probably wondering why we have so much like Fractured City and Generator Room when obviously I talk about all these other tables I'm planning too, and that's because the other tables take more finesse. Like I gotta actually think about what's on it because it's goofy stuff. It's me trying to hodgepodge together different ideas, or they're just tables that we don't see as much, like Research Colony and what is it? Research Outpost? No, not Research Outpost. Something outpost, Outer Rim Outpost, or I don't remember the other name. But it's just
Hmm.
Fractured City just puts together so fast. You print a bunch of boxes, you have and generator room. Like that thing is so compact. I can carry in one box that holds like maybe two tables of like Fractured City or AMG terrain. I can fit like six generator rooms. Like they just go whoop because they all come apart and
Yeah.
they're super easy. So it's we will have more tables at next LVO that are different. But the last batch, like warning, Chris, that batch I'm talking about, the six more tables, those are all Fractured City too. Like,
I don't mind Fractured City. I think that's a fine tile set is what I'm going to call it. Um,
yeah,
I don't know. I think it's a good one, honestly. For like in terms of printed terrain, it's so good. Yeah, and you're right. It sets up really quick because you can just say do. All right, you got this. You're good to go. That's a good
yeah.
one.
And I will have. I am thinking about. Well. Oh, this is gonna air after LVO. I can't even tell people. I was gonna say, oh, I could tell people what mats we're gonna have at LVO. Well, Chris, you're gonna know what mats we have at LVO. There,
Ooh.
one of the options is their Mars base one, and I think Omnis has been corrupting me a little bit too. I really kind of want like a red and black like sooty table to go with like that Mars base like red feel because for some reason the bigger problem we usually have running local events is we don't have enough play mats. It's not that we don't have enough terrain. we
Yeah.
have we have plenty of terrain, so I have to keep getting play mats, and then I'm gonna get make the terrain match it because it bugs me when the terrain doesn't match the mat, and I might have a problem. I might have a problem with aesthetics.
No, it makes everything better when you do have the stuff match. It just raises the whole, and then that's why we all love painted minis too. It's just because it raises everyone's enjoyment when it makes sense. I don't, I don't know. I agree with you. I completely agree.
Oh, I have to say, it took me this long, so like 2 years in, but I kind of get all of the veteran tabletop players that they're like, I refuse to play with unpainted models. And I'm like, yeah, but I need to get reps in, and I just barely finished assembling this box that's been sitting on my table for 3 months. I need to get reps in. I'm sorry. But yeah, every time I'm playing and everybody has painted models and all the terrain's nice and pretty and you get like a 5% bonus to everything in the game. Everything is like 5% better at least because it's all painted.
You mean your enjoyment or your dice rolls are 5% better?
No, everything.
Like everything's better.
Everything is 5% better. I have no scientific backing for this. I've just decided right now. Everything is 5% better.
You're 5% happier. Your dice roll 5% better. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, you need a bus if you need to get that win rate higher. You have to bring all painted models. I'm sorry, that's yeah, that's why
That's what
everybody must be showing up with their veers unpainted, and that's the only reason why his win rate is as low as it is.
every grand tournament I've been to, I think I've had at least one unpainted model. Most of it's been painted. Okay, don't throw me completely under the bus. That's why I haven't won. It's because that one model I haven't
Aww.
painted Sabine Wren because her armor is intimidating. Okay, if she was painted, maybe that armor would intimidate my opponents by 5% and I would win.
See, hey, Sabine was before her arm got tragically broken off and yeeted off into the universe somewhere. My Sabine was one of my like favorite models that I painted. Like you can do so like remember, she's like a graffiti artist. If you make a mistake, you're like, "Ah, well she went a little crazy with the spray paint can." You know, she had her own little mini rattle can. Oh, we got to get a rattle can for her. Forget getting her a dark saber. I need to get like a rattle can for her to hold.
Do they have rattle cans in Star Wars far in the past? In the distant past
Oh well,
future?
it's probably an air. It's probably an airbrush. I think didn't she carry around an airbrush? She had some kind of fancy like sci-fi airbrushy thing. I think if I don't know, it's been too long since I watched Rebel.
So like Doctor Who's screwdriver, except it airbrushes too.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
she needs that with like a little puff. You could put like a little like puff of like paint spray coming out. I don't know. I don't know how to make that. That's beyond me. But now I have an idea.
Talk to Holden. Holden, we're calling you in to fix this one.
Yeah, I gotta fix her arm anyway. She has to have something. So
Mm-hmm.
it'll work. It'll work. Yeah. All right, all right. I think we have at least given everybody a fun Empire list, a meta Empire list. They will be learning all of this in real time at LVO as Chris, bullies people IRL with Empire, right?
Dun 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 dun. That's right.
Yeah, yeah. So, any final thoughts on the meta? Any closing statements? Not even about the meta, the game. I know some people are worried because of the light release schedule. I think we need to at least wait until next Adepticon before I'm that worried. Like, there's so many places they can go with the game still. We haven't even done the sequels.
I think we're gonna find out a whole lot whenever Mini Extravaganza is, which is it's a few months away. So you know, uh, they show us stuff from time to time at those. So I would be shocked if they didn't tell us something because this last Adepticon was a bit light on the roadmap. So kind of crossing my fingers, hoping for something else. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. I just think it was Legion's year, and now it's probably gonna cycle back to us. Like it felt like we were having a neck break pace of releases for a little bit there. Like I finally stopped buying everything because I was like, no, I can't be that kind of collector. There's a reason I'm missing. So ironically, I just realized I don't own the Iden box. I never picked her up because I was looking at some lists because I was thinking about Inquisitors, and I was like, wait, I don't have that box. Like, what happened?
So it's not because you just heard Chris's list and you're like, I need to get some item on the table. This is a list. That's I'm gonna try that.
Well, I mean, that actually does sound interesting. I didn't think about like Vader
Item with a
deck or
knife.
Iden
Hmm.
with a very big knife. That's
Yes.
not a knife. This is
Hmm.
a knife.
One last thing before I get back to my final thought, which is you stopped buying things because they got too expensive, but you were coming from Magic the Gathering. Surely you saved money while buying everything there was to buy for Shatterpoint, right? You probably spent, I don't know, $600 every 3 months on Magic cards, right?
Oh no. My hobby budget has all gone to the mortgage, unfortunately. But yeah, no, I needed to change hobbies just because of that. Like I can't afford Magic anymore now. Reminder, the most of why I look through my Magic cards now is to still find what remaining money cards I have because I was a crazy person because I like having access to the meta. And so I didn't have a Pioneer deck or a Modern deck or okay, I had a Legacy deck. Those are too expensive. But like I would have three or four like tournament meta decks so that I could like I know everybody jokes that all I ever played was blue white control because that's what I like and that's what I played most of the time. But I would play whatever. Like if blue white was having a bad week, month, year, I would play the meta stuff. Like I would play blue red, I would play black red, I would play So I had a collection that allowed me to pivot in expensive metas. So yeah, I've been selling stuff just to keep funding the habit. Like Todd and even Talia have been like, "Hey, I don't want you to regret like you're selling a lot of cards right now." And I'm like, "I still have like 15 commander decks, if not more." It's probably more like now. Are they all super high powered, insanely competitive though? No, but I have like 15 100 card decks, Chris. just still sitting in a box over there. I
That's
I
a
could
lot.
sell I could sell cards for a while. Like Magic was my hobby. Like most of my friends, they did Magic and like Warhammer and MCP and all these other things. Like no, I was laser focused. I played Magic and I played more Magic and I played more Magic. That's what I did all the time. And so, yeah, I could keep selling cards for a little bit longer. I'll be fine. I'll be okay. The dumb part is that they just keep releasing new sets.
Look, hey, if selling Magic cards has kept you off the streets, then we're it has come full circle. You supported it, now it's supporting you. I'll get back to my final thought though, because I can imagine
Yeah.
that Todd, if he's going to edit this, that he's saying, "I'm just going to drop the curtain on them now," like in the middle of conversation at the last, just drop it on us.
Yeah,
But
he's like, I don't want to hear any more about Magic. No, thank you.
I guess my final thoughts would be Empire. A lot of Empire stuff is at about a 50% win ratio. But I think that if you are really prepared for what you're going to play it into, it's still very, very viable. And if you like Empire, you should play Empire. If you like Rebels, you should play Rebels because they're doing great right now. And basically the same for everything. Everybody really has some play, even the Separatists. If you come in with a plan and execute that plan, don't be like me where I just suddenly veer immediately away from that plan. Just execute your plan,
Right.
and anything is probably going to you'll have a fun event. You'll have a good time.
Right. That's the thing is that I know we talk about win percentages, and yes, if you just look at nothing but GT lists and only GT lists, well, okay, other than Texas, yeah, you're going to see a lot of the same things because when players are trying to win, they're going to take the most efficient options. They are not going to necessarily play around with what they think is cool or what they think is interesting or what is going to be really hard to play in that last 30 minutes of mission critical in the final round of the event when all of your decisions are really going to matter and they have a puzzle piece of a primary where they're like, okay, if I can see the matrix, I can make this unit work. No, they're just going to take Boss or Cassian or something that's not going to force them to have to think that hard in round 4 and 5 of these bigger events, and that's okay. But you can still have fun, and you can still win. With the other stuff, didn't magically become bad except for maybe Veers and CT. But wait, is it CT? CC? CT
CT
9904?
CT Clone
CT.
Trooper
Clone Trooper. Yeah.
9904 was sadly
Aww.
always bad.
Aw, I actually hope
Aw.
that we get more like specifically that Rise of the Empire era cuz like that's where like Cal Kestis and those Inquisitors should be. Like they should be in Rise of the Empire. Like that makes sense to me. And I mean I know it's still kind of unexplored territory story wise, but that's I've already got two more boxes. Rise of the Empire right there, and you get more Inquisitors, Empire players. Like just give me, come on, AMG. I know you're listening. Give me a pink poncho and give Chris some Inquisitors. Like we can make this happen.
Androidicas, but that's in another episode entirely. We have
Yeah.
that episode. It's probably a few episodes back. Go look for it. It's a good one. What are
Yes.
your final
Yes.
thoughts, Aubrey?
Uh, I think. Well, actually, I guess I think I kind of just said them. That's
You don't
just
have
what
any
I'm
final
feeling.
final
Is
thoughts?
final thoughts.
Yeah,
Uh,
like your order 66 thoughts.
my order 66 thoughts are everyone should be like Sheev and get their own proxy of Darth Vader on Mustafar so that I will feel better about playing against you when you're beating on me with Jedi Hunter and your Galactic Republic friends. That's my and everybody who's not in that Discord is going to be so confused because wasn't that in our local AMG
Yeah,
Discord?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a local AMG Discord, and there was a running gag there, and I just told it to you. So hopefully you had fun. There's my final thought. Have fun playing Shatterpoint, everybody. All right. So let's see. Closing out. If you would like to support us, we do have a Patreon. It will be available in a link in the show notes. Please join our Discord. While joining the Patreon does give you access to some parts of some exclusive parts of the Discord. The rest of it is free. Please jump in, join the conversation, see what crazy things we're all talking about. The meme channel is still popping off. Don't worry, we haven't ended the memes, even though the meme war has entered a bit of a cold war right now. That's okay. It's just because Momentous struggle was winning rogue support. Haha. I don't know. I think we were like 1-1. I don't think anyone was winning, or maybe we were 1-2. I don't know. I'm the kind of person where if I'm 1-2, I'll still talk smack about it and be like, yeah, I'm gonna get you next time, and then I'll be 1-3, and we won't talk about it anymore. But if you don't want to support the cast in that way, that's perfectly fine. Please, if you haven't already, rate, review it on your podcast platform of choice, and as always, may the force be with you.